I got a long extension between. Gonna see. I don't know if this will even work. Try not to scream. Okay. Whew. All right. Welcome back to part 2 of this little mini series, taking off the Jaguar and or Land Rover Supercharger. We are about to start removing all the plastic pipes, the rear crossover pipe, the lower Y pipe, replace the front water pump, the plastic thermostat housing, and we're switching to aluminum. So this video is going to be all about that. We did take a few clips from our cell phone. We'll add them in right after the intro here of changing out the coupler on the Supercharger. That does come in the Euro amp kit. So we wanted to go ahead and get that done, and glad we did because ours had a ton of play, which is also, one, really harsh on the Supercharger, but two, also creates lag under boost. So when you step on it, that old coupler with the spring, especially it being so loose, had to twist before engaging the screws on the Supercharger. Now with the, I believe it's polymer or polyurethane, now as soon as you give it throttle, that Supercharger is turning, so there will be no little lag there. So let's get this video going.
Built with soul, not just steel.
All right, excuse the audio and everything. I'm just doing my iPhone recording because I kind of got a little bit ahead of the video. So removing your side banks off the Supercharger is very self-explanatory. There's going to be a dowel on each side. There's 3 Torx bits on the inside, and then there is one 10 millimeter on the bottom side. So see here. So once you get those off, then you can get to these bolts, and there is 8 total. Or 1, 2, there's one inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, and this is sealed from the factory with some special sealant, which I have on order. But now we got to separate it to get to that coupler that's in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay this thing down. Okay, I popped the hose off. It's just got these little metal clips that hook onto here and here. So I popped that hose out of the way. Now you want to get yourself a big wedge, a really big wedge. And you see they put these 2 slats right here to be able to separate this stuff, because that stuff grabs really tight. So we're just going to make sure you don't scar the surfaces and you're only running through those 2 channels. If you scar the outside of the channels, that's okay because it's a non-sealing point. I flipped it again, put the separator on this side. We're starting to get a gap all the way around, so we're just going to work this back and forth. You don't have to remove your crank pulley or your Supercharger pulley, but we're going to go ahead and get this seam separated the rest of the way. Here it is, guys. Once I got the bottom separated, I just kind of tapped on this housing to break the top loose. There's a couple dowels in there. Okay, there's the coupler. That's the, I mean, you can see all the dust and dirt in there. No in-shaft play. I'm pulling in and out. Supercharger's quiet. It's a little bit of up and down, but I mean, I don't know what the tolerances are, but this shaft feels really good. So I'm going to clean that real good, and then we'll put the new coupler on there. We're gonna check the shaft play real quick, like, if I can do this steadily. That's very, okay, good. I think we're well within spec. That's all the shaft play we have. So definitely noise. I was worried because there's a little, microscopic as you see on the gauge. So the noise is definitely coming from this. If I remove the coupler, this has no play and it's quiet. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and get the crossover pipe. There is a coolant sensor to unplug at the bottom there. Get the crossover pipe off. We're gonna get this Y pipe off. This is the one that cracks and leaks. And then we're gonna start getting this water pump off, get this little guy out, get all this other stuff out on this video, and then we'll get all the new pipes in. This video is just gonna be basically the coolant component replacements, and the final video, because we're waiting on some parts, final video will be reassembly with torque specs and everything like that. So let's get moving on this and go ahead and get these T30s out. There's 2 of them. Now, likely there'll still be some coolant in this thing. Again, you just can't get it all. But hopefully we can get this bad boy out of there without the pieces breaking off too bad. Okay. There's one. There goes the coolant. That's what it is. We'll just have to clean up our mess after the fact, guys. I got mine out without breaking. A lot of guys, when they pull this out, it breaks off the O-ring. But yeah, so you can see the seam. This is what cracks, or they snap right here at the base, but Jaguar did re-engineer these to be a one-piece plastic. They're still plastic, but they're one piece. So they're extruded instead of 2 pieces melted together. So, all right, we're gonna have a mess on the floor. Kind of is what it is. We'll use the shop vac for some of this, get some of this out real quick. Put that down with that guy. Before we do any of that, we're just gonna keep moving on. We're gonna get these back ones off. We got the coolant sensor unplugged. We got the 2 heater hoses plugged in as well. These should be just as easy as squeezing these 2 blue tabs and rocking. There's one. Oh, we're also gonna remove the Simposer hose as well. Is it only 1 hose on this one? Or where's the other hose going? I think it's just 1 hose on this one. Cool. So, and then there's just the 2 30s. Those ones are gonna be probably easier with a smaller ratchet and a little extension. So let me grab that out of the truck. Only 1 hose that goes to that, so that's good. Now, these are also T30s. The Simposer hose is gonna come out. I'm gonna try to wiggle this guy in there just to make it a little easier. Oh, come on, baby. Just a little bit longer. Okay. Let's see if I can get these or not. maybe too long now. There's one. There's one. Not sure if this one will reach or not, but oh, come on, baby. Yeah, so definitely gonna have to go smaller on those. We did vacuum up some of the coolant off the ground, sucked some of this out here. Can't get to all of it without like a straw of some kind, so we're gonna probably throw some rags in there, soak all that up. Okay, this one is easiest if you're using a standard T30 socket with a 1-inch extension. Just puts it right at the perfect length. All right. All right, guys, it's coming. We plan on, if I mentioned it before in a previous video, we plan on doing the TVS 2300 from Velocity AP Supercharger. So, which will make all these videos help quite a bit with how to remove your supercharger. And so what we're doing is we're just kind of slowly eliminating all the smaller stuff in the kit that you need, such as the tensioner upgrade, the next purchase. We did end up ordering the supposer delete because you need it for the new supercharger anyways. We were already right there. We can get rid of half of this crap. So we're gonna delete the Symposer on the 1.9 supercharger, and then we'll just move that over to the new one once we get it. But we already have the tensioner, Symposer delete. The next purchase is gonna be the Volvo electronic vacuum pump. Velocity AP has a vacuum pump relocation kit that runs an electric vacuum pump to your brake booster and stuff. When you start getting high boost and putting that much pressure on the belt and tensioner and stuff, the factory vacuum pump mechanical is down here right next to the belt. If the belt ever snapped or slipped, it could easily break off the pump, then you lose your power brakes. So something they think about. So we'll do that, and then we'll probably do we may end up ordering the intakes supercharger at the same time, but we'll probably end up just ordering the intakes, ordering the methanol injection kit, and then the final big purchase will be the custom tune and the supercharger itself. So we really love Velocity AP's products. We've had them on this car 5 years now, still going strong. Granted, I don't put a lot of miles on this thing, but I do I do drive it pretty hard when I do drive it. So that's a testament to their products there. So no hiccups when I was installing the tune or anything. This one back here is a little bit time consuming, just kind of a pain, but just take it slow. Starting to get hand tight where I can use just the socket to get it off. Okay, here it comes. And we got a kind of a coolant mess. Oh, and there goes our socket down to the floor. At least it hit the floor and didn't get stuck on something. But got kind of a mess under the car with coolant. We took the vacuum and vacuumed some of that up, but it's okay. All right, let me grab my socket and then we'll get over to these last two right here, right on the back side of this pipe, and that whole crossover pipe will be ready to come out. Okay, another 1-inch spacer works great here. What I mean by 1-inch spacer is it's literally 1 inch. So, all right. Once we get this crossover pipe out, we will take that Symposer hose off. I think we're gonna find a cap. I gotta see if it comes with the kit. If it doesn't come with the kit, we're gonna find a cap to cap off the dash side of the Symposer tube. Well, we know dust and dirt and crap gets in there. Okay, there's one coming out. Almost there. There we go. Then on this final one, I'll do it with no extension. Just the normal size socket here. And that should be able to get right down, yeah, right to it right there. There we go. And we're probably going to lose, we might not lose any coolant out of this because it's higher than the Y pipe, but it may have already drained out, but all right, guys. Oh, come on. Yeah. It's so close. It's right in between that finger tight and needing a tool. I can get like a quarter turn and then it gets tight again. So let's get the tool back in there. My hand around it. Come on, baby. Ah, so close. There she goes. Now that's hand tight for sure. All right. All right. Again, make sure you have your coolant sensor unplugged. There we go. Pop that bad boy off. Oh, we gotta pop that clip off there. Also, make sure you get your old O-rings. They like to get stuck to the cylinder heads, so right there, one. And where's this other one? I saw it earlier. There it is. 1 and 2, make sure you get those out, because the new part comes with new ones. Oh, wow. We need our clip tool. We're gonna pop this clip off of there. Like so. There you go. And you guys can see another seam right here, but it's starting to separate on mine. It's not leaking yet, but that's definitely not sitting flush like the whole rest of the system right there. So you can see it's kind of almost warped. So again, super important. I think it's changing that out as well. Some people just do the Y pipes, but like I said, this is, yes, going to hold more heat because it's aluminum. But you can see theirs is actually 2-piece aluminum with a nice gasket and equal clamping all the way around with all these things. So I'm wondering if Euro Amp is going to sell just this gasket once you get this kit. I mean, this will probably forego the length of the car, but nevertheless, like... Okay, so next is our water pump we want to get to. You can take out your new water pump and see that it's only 4 bolts that hold the pump, and I think probably 1 clip right there. But only 4 bolts. They give you brand new bolts plus new gaskets and the new retainer clip inside the brass fitting here. I am personally, just because I'm going to be a little overly cautious, it looks machined really smooth. However, you can see, even though it's, I mean, it looks true, but I'm just worried that just a microscopic, I don't know, I can't feel anything with my nail. But I'm going to put a little bit of silicone, just a tiny bit, on here on the gaskets. So that way I verify they seal. I don't think this is got any, yeah, I think it's more a visual effect than it is anything, like them turning the mill a different angle. But just to be safe, I am going to just add a tiny drop of that. Again, that's your push clip for the new fitting. So what we need to do here is we need to go ahead and get our belt tensioner off of the water pump. We can get our upper hose off right here. We can go ahead and pull this hose off. We get all new ones of these, so we can go ahead and remove this. We'll remove this hose all together off the thermostat housing, and then we're going to remove that, remove the belt, and then get to our 4 bolts, pull this off, and then we should be able to remove this once this is off. We have a new version of that. Get rid of that plastic crap. I don't know why they made from the water pump to the oil cooler out of plastic, but nice new aluminum one for that with a big crush washer or crush O-ring style. So yeah, and then I believe we get new O-rings for all the lines and stuff are in here. Oh, and they even give us a brass radiator drain plug. I already put my plastic one back in, but I may take that out and put this brass one in. That's pretty nice. Let's get this back there. Where they put it is right kind of behind this cam sensor location, so I'm going to see if I can unplug that. Give us a little bit more bite or more room. No. Ouch, got it. There we go. Looks like I need to get that off anyways because there's a clip here on the thermostat housing. All right, so let's get this down in there now. Got it. All right, there we go. Let that go. That one came off really easy. I like that. Didn't have to fight it too much. Starting to get coolant running out again. Time to vacuum that up again. So on these quick connect type pipes here, you're gonna push in on that little black inner race. You want to push in evenly, and then you should be able to pull right out. So I'm going to try to get Actually, I don't know if that's big enough, but we're gonna try this first so we can push evenly. It might not be big enough though. Let's see. Oh, yeah, perfect size. Push in and out. So that's, this little black thing will be, if you try to pull it, it'll come out with it and lock it in place. So you push this all the way flush, and then this will pull right out, and you can see it just bites down on the plastic. So there is the old coolant hose that we get a new one of right here with a brand new elbow. It looks like they give you an option of a brass version of this, possibly. Ooh, I like that. I think that, yeah, I'm pretty sure they give us a brass version, guys. So we will make sure we verify that goes to that, but I'm pretty sure it does. There's no instructions, so, but you even get a new one of these. So let's move on. I think we're gonna try to leave the hose on the water pump side and then just take it off the thermostat side here, since the plastic seems to release a lot easier. It doesn't bake on the hose as much. So we're gonna get to that clamp. Oop. Slipped off there. Let's try that again. Let's make sure we got a good bite. There we go, that's a good bite. Right, nope. Keeps wanting to twist. Where's this at? Let's try it down this way then. Try that maybe. Oh, had it for a second. All right. It's wanting to slip off every time, so I'm not sure if it's gonna let us. Yeah. I'll try to break it loose, but there it goes. Ooh. Whew, almost got my finger, guys. Those pinch clamps, they hurt. Been there, done that several times in my life. All right, let's see why this thing keeps twisting on us. I don't know why. Let's see if I can just get a good straight bite. Just like that. Yeah, it's not giving me a good bite on that hose. I don't know if regular pliers will do it or not, but we'll try. There we go. Nope, that's not working. Come on. Spin it back around so I can see it. I'm not quite sure why this one's being so difficult with the hose tool, but here we are. Slowly but surely. Come on, baby. Get up over that hump. All right. Oh, got it. Got it. Sweet. And then I can just, all right, it's loose. I can twist it on the water or on the thermostat housing. So we're gonna go ahead and get that tensioner out of there next. All right, tensioner is exactly the same as the other tensioner. Should be just a 3/8. Might be easier to see from that side. Yeah, sure enough. Right there. way. Let's go this way. Whoa. All right, that, my friends, is off of there. Get it off, there we go. Apparently, second time's the charm. We can go ahead and remove these 2 or 4 30s. Again, we're likely gonna lose a ton of coolant, but here we are. I don't have any buckets under the car. But I'll just vacuum it all up again. It's all said and done. I'll break these loose by hand. They should still be T30s. I'm gonna have one here. Okay, right there. One. And 2. Yeah. The same thing on this side. Probably get over around the back. So I can actually see which ones they are. One. Oh, we got a charger battery, guys. One, and where's the second one? Second one is behind the tensioner. Lovely. Okay. Apparently we've got to remove this tensioner as well, you guys, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the tensioner. Let me charge this battery. All right, so we're gonna have to continue this on while that's charging. Pretty self-explanatory though. We got one single bolt on the tensioner body. We're gonna just remove. The tensioner body is sitting right in front of the lower water pump bolt, so that's why we're having to remove it. You know, I did see one video of a guy replace, or not video, but a photo of a guy that replaced all these plastic quick connect lines with an AN style line, braided line, and it looked really good. But I think someone, maybe eventually we will come out with a, we'll have to figure out how to come up with a kit, but maybe we can come up with a kit for everyone, at least for these top lines here. These 2 hard plastics, if no one's got a kit yet. And that little third line that goes to the one here. Okay, we're almost off, guys. All right, and we'll get it without dropping anything. Okay, this tensioner looks great. Set that up there. Now we should be able to get down to that last bolt, which is right there. I know you guys can't see it, but just verify when you get your water pump. You can see the holes on the new one. That way you kind of know where to gauge where the right ones are. That's all I did. Okay, that one, and those are loose. All right, well, let's get these out, guys. Bonk. Somebody had mentioned, wouldn't it be easier to remove the hood? And I'm like, yes, if I had help, it would give me a whole lot more room just taking the hood off real quick. You just got 8 bolts and 2 clips, and the hood comes right off, and they're really light. They're just really awkward, and I don't want to risk scratching it. So I'm typically by myself, so you just got to work around it. All right. So there we are. There we go, guys. I'm gonna take this hose off. Gonna lose some coolant, like I thought we would. But, all right, guys. Look at that. We'll need to reuse this hose here. So the kit didn't come with that one, it just comes with the upper one. Here we are. Water pump is out. Got the POV camera back and charged. So it looks like we have a quick connect type hose with a pin at the bottom of the thermostat housing and this one hose here with a pinch clamp. There's one bolt and one sensor wire on the thermostat housing. Before we get there, if you take a look down here, here is that plastic adapter that goes to the oil cooler. This is going to rotate and come out. So it locks itself in that little keyway there so that it can't back itself out. And then this is the O-ring that the kit comes with. So we're going to replace that. We can get this one off. There it goes. So we'll walk this one off and we will replace this plastic housing with the new aluminum housing here. So nice. Okay. So nice thing, they did put this little bump stop here, so that way when you're pushing against this, since this line can kind of bend, it holds itself as you're installing the water pump and won't allow this to bend and miss the connection. Here's the new O-ring. It's a compression type O-ring. And our new adapter, we can just take a little bit of coolant, add that right inside here like so. Okay. And then there it goes. Make sure we don't go too far back. Now we get our lock in its place. There it goes. There it is right there. Okay. And that's locked in so it can't go forward or backwards at all. And there you go. Just like that. So that'll be ready for the new water pump there. Now moving on to the thermostat. Okay, there you go. Come on, baby. There it goes. Break it loose. Walk it down. Come on. Okay. Okay. Come on this side. Ow. Okay. Stupid thing. All right. There it goes. All the way down. Okay. There you go. Just gonna squeeze the plastic and push on the hose. It's gonna make a mess, but it is what it is. There we go. Okay. So this next one, I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the sensor, and we don't get the sensor with the housing because that stays on the lower radiator hose. So what we want to do is just get the sensor out of our way for now. So push it on the clip and drive it up. And then one bolt is holding that thermostat on. So let's try to get it from this angle here, guys. Let's not put anything on my windshield. There we go. All right. All right, let's get my hand down there. Squeeze, pull up. Okay, that sensor's unplugged. This is the harness I'm talking about right here. This little pigtail needs to come off of the housing before we unbolt it. The one single bolt is right, pointing at it right there. That's the one bolt holding the thermostat housing on. We're gonna look at how to get this harness off of here real quick. Got one clip, and I think the second clip down is on the front side there somewhere. Yeah, so we'll have to get it from the other side. But this, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I can't see my camera angle. I'm gonna just pop out the, oh man, just lost my hose clamp down onto my cover. That's okay, this thing's gotta be jacked back up to do the oil change anyways. But there you go. You're gonna pop that plastic, or sorry, the metal pin out of the lower radiator hose to drop the lower radiator hose off the thermostat housing. Just like that. And I reach down there, pull and tug. These things are notorious for getting stuck too. They do it on the Volkswagens all the time. Okay, so let's get this, see if we can't get a couple things going here at the same time. We're gonna pop this off, this harness. There's one, two. Let's go around to the other side, take a look. Okay, where's this harness go? Goes down and around. I think it is loose there, loose there. I don't know what's holding it down here, or if it's just simply wrapped. I think it's just simply wrapped. Oh, nope, there's a clip. How are you supposed to get to that one? There's one more clip on this front side, guys. It is not gonna be fun to get to. I wish I could show you guys exactly, but just follow this line. It's right down here somewhere. It's right there, and it pries out towards the front of the car, I believe. Okay, here we are. Let's get it back there. Got it, yep, out towards the front of the car, guys. There it is. So this is ready to go, minus the one bolt holding it on. Let's see if we got, I don't know if I have a long enough extension in here. Let's see. I like to go right through, under this bar, through this, down to there. Let's go get a long extension. Okay, so I unwrapped the coolant temp sensor that goes on the lower radiator hose. So this is how it wraps around the thermostat housing. So I unwrapped it just to get it out of the way. I got a long extension between, lovely guys, lovely. I got a long extension between this bar and here, and then what you do is you reach in here. There's just enough flex in that aluminum line there. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on it, but just enough to be able to get your socket on there. So let me grab my socket again. We're gonna break that loose. We're trying it again. Alright. Without dropping the extension this time. Okay, there we go, guys. Thermostat bolt is out. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna separate the bottom hose. Again, there's the clip. Right there. Let's try to get this separated without having to pry it. But we may have to pry it, guys. I don't know. We'll see. Get my hand down there. Come on, baby. We're off. We just need to come off. Yeah, the clip is definitely out all the way. So. Yeah. All right, guys. This is going to take some love. You're gonna have to get it to separate right here. So I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully catching that on camera without all this stuff being away. Gotta separate the lower hose from the thermostat housing. I'm just gonna fight this off camera because otherwise you're gonna just hear me panting the whole time. All right. So it was just easier to remove the freaking hoses because they slide right off the plastic than trying to get this separated in the car. You can see I started to get it separated a little bit, but it is just wedged in there. I'm not quite sure exactly how you're supposed to pry these things out in the car. It's just no freaking way. So just, if you guys run into the same problem, pull all 4 hoses. It's easier. You can hear me, I'm out of breath from fighting it and cussing at it and everything else. So now, what I think I'm gonna do, I'm going to see, I don't know if this will even work. Try not to scream. Okay. I don't want these to flip, but I don't know what else to do, guys. Let's get this freaker off. So I don't care about the thermostat housing because we're replacing it. So I'm gonna grab the lips and try to, son of a, oh, okay. Oh, guys. I'm pissed off. I'm gonna make my life easier. Bye-bye. Okay. Screw this. We're gonna crush this. I don't care. As long as we're not crushing this housing. Crush. Okay, here we go. Got that one on. That one on. There we go, guys. Got it. So I broke this tab off so I could get it in my vise. I had to put the vise edge under that fitting and tap that fitting out. What a pain, what a pain. So there you guys go. Give this thing a little bit of lubricant. O-ring still looks great shape. So on this particular one, mounts this way, the sensor is in the front towards the front. So basically want to make sure that's lined up. There you go. You got to gently rock it back and forth. All right. And then this clip is going to go back in. Okay. There you guys go. That's in, the clip is back in. One aluminum housing. Now we can get all these hoses reconnected. All right, you guys, so a little bit of change of plans. I ended up ordering, hopefully it's not too loud with the heater going, it's freaking cold. I ended up ordering a brand new oil cooler. You know, I'm already in here and I'm like, it's just right there. They only run about 130 bucks or so. So doing a Nyson one, which I've had good luck with their products before. So we're gonna do the oil cooler. We also ordered a new upper water pump hose. I just don't like, you can see here, hopefully it's picking it up, guys. Yeah, but I don't like that where it was resting. It's pretty deep inside, so I don't feel safe for using that one, especially with me having to walk it loose. It was so stuck on the old parts. Up on this side, I should say. So we got a new upper water pump hose coming. We went ahead and we switched this fitting, plastic fitting, out to the brass one. We verified it was the exact same diameter. So now we got a brass fitting. We don't got to worry about that little elbow snapping there. We ordered the throttle body heater hose that goes to the throttle body to the crossover pipe. Since this clips on to the bottom of the supercharger and runs under the car or under the supercharger, we got this hose coming as well. We ordered a pack of single ear clamps so we can reuse single ear clamps under here. That way we verify that the clamps don't get caught on anything. So we got that kit coming with the special pliers. And then we also went ahead and got the plastic line that goes to the expansion tank here. Because mine has one broken tab on this side and the O-rings are old, I mean, in theory I could find O-rings that match and replace them, but I didn't like that my tab was missing on this side here. So we ordered this line so we can get a new tab, and that goes to this piece here, which we have a new one already in the kit right here. Bam. So we'll replace that one. So those parts are on their way. So I'm going to finish putting the thermostat housing back in, and you see here's our thermostat housing. I got that lower pipe back on with no problems. So it was a pain in the butt to get off of, well, you guys saw in the video, to get off of here. It was like this either expanded or this contracted, but it was so tight getting off of here. I had to freaking hammer this one off. No damage to this piece, which is what we wanted. And this piece, with just a little bit of lubrication, slid right on and was able to pin it. So we're good there. So let's go ahead and get this piece back in. We might as well get this part done. We can get the crossover pipe in as well, and then we'll wait for our parts and finish this video up. One thing also, on the Simposer delete, you can see these rubber bushings here and here. Those just slide right off of the bracket here and here. You need to unplug your vacuum line. You will get a vacuum cap, but this solenoid must be plugged in. Otherwise you get probably a check engine light or something. So you got to keep that and all this line, but you got to get rid of all this junk on the back of the engine. So make sure you do that. When our Supercharger delete gets here, we'll cap this off. We'll put the Supercharger delete in. Eventually we're going to put a boost gauge in this bad boy. So all that junk there. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this going in here from across the way. We'll see if we can get it, but it might be a little bit of a pain to do. Yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of pain to do. So what I'm thinking of is, let me get this over here. This one goes to the top one. Bottom one should be right there, yeah. Okay. I'll set that down in. All right. Okay, we want to get our lower hoses in first. I think we're going to try to get the big hose in first, if I can. There we go. Come on, baby. How's it going? Alright. Alright. It's almost all the way up. If I remember right, I had to actually open the hose clamp. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Here we are. It's just about there. Okay. You guys can see that, hopefully. Bottom hose is on. Now we gotta get the bottom smaller hose on. Not this one, but that one. We also have an oil change kit. We're not gonna do the extraction. We're gonna do a full oil change, replace the drain plug. The extraction is okay. I don't like to do it every time. I usually do an extraction every other time, but again, I don't put a lot of miles on this car, between 1,200 and 2,500 a year. So really the oil change gets done on a yearly basis because I never reach the oil change 5,000 or 10,000, or I would never do an oil change at 10,000, but I usually do with synthetic about 5,000, but I never even reach that 5,000. So the oil gets changed yearly regardless, just every August. This year, obviously we're way past August, but the car has been down. I was repairing the wing. I've been doing a bunch of stuff. So it hasn't been driving. So it's just been sitting with the oil in it. So we got a whole oil change kit from FCP Euro. And so, all right, we're going to get our thermostat in its proper location. And by bolting the thermostat down first, it just makes fighting those hose clamps a little easier. So, and then we'll get the oil cooler out. We're not going to do the oil cooler till the new one gets here, but that'll give us the ability to vacuum out all the valley down there, so we can actually get some stuff down in there to vacuum it out. Not really worried about the torque on that bolt, as it just holds the bracket, so that's nice and solid now. We got a nice beautiful aluminum piece here. So now we don't forget to wrap. This goes all the way around and back through. Wrap your sensor wire. So starts with this. I'm gonna plug this one in. Sure that cam sensor or whatever I had to unplug is plugged back in. And then we're gonna go One here. All right, that's one that's in. Then it goes around. Goes down and in between. So I'm gonna route that around. Got to leave this pin open here, guys. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully, yeah, right there. That one goes to the pin on the double hard plastic lines, which are somewhere around here. But yeah, so that pin goes to that. So we don't want to. Oh, they're right here. Yeah. So the pin on these two lines here. Make sure you don't block that one. So let me go ahead and get this squared away. I'll wrap it around so it goes all the way around the housing, back through, and then down to the plug. Okay, we got that lower hose clamp in place. Now we're working on this second lower, smaller one. Right now, haven't plugged the wire in yet because it just makes it easier with it out of the way. So let's get this last hose clamp, and then we'll get this other hose on, and then we'll be done with the thermostat, and we won't have to deal with that thing. That's probably the worst thing ever that I've done so far. You can see the back of my hand's all cut up and everything else. So let's get going on this side. I think I might be able to do this with just regular pliers, possibly. If I can turn this clamp a little bit, I can. Okay, let's try some regular pliers first. Yeah. That bottom hose would have been much easier had that original plastic housing been able to break free, but since I had to take it off at the hose, it just made everything a little more difficult, but still doable. Just a pain in the butt, guys. Ow. I just smashed my finger. Oh, and it's cold outside. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts really good. It's throbbing. Oh. Of course, and now this hose clamp is running away from me. Because why wouldn't it? You get to see the real frustrations, guys. Let's get this stupid hose clamp up as high as we can so it can slide down on us. Okay. Oh, I need to wrap my finger for a minute. Oh. All right, let's try it again. One more time. Try not pinching my finger this time, because that won't feel good. 2 times in a row. All right, that hurt a lot, and that was a pain in the butt, but those 3 hoses are on. So now we can work on getting this thing through the housing and around. There you go. This one goes right there. And this one comes around and goes right there. And there is one, technically, I guess it doesn't have the 3rd spot like this one did. Should have, let's see, so this way has 1, 2, and that's it. Oh, maybe it's on the very bottom. Let's find out. Okay. No, not on the very bottom. Well, either way, it's safe, so I'm not worried about it. It's wrapped around like it's supposed to. We got this one plugged back in here. So, you guys, that is probably the worst to do in general. That was no fun at all. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get that Supercharger hose out of there. We're gonna find a plug for our pipe. So we're gonna get that off, and then we'll need to go down to the hardware store and find a whatever size 3/4, 1 inch vacuum cap, just to keep dust from going up in there. But let's figure out how to get this thing out. I know it's a pinch clamp as well, like everything freaking else, but where the pinch clamp is the question. Okay, it's on the bottom side. So we'll get that out of there. I crushed my finger twice, right after one right after the other. That was no fun, let me tell you, at all. So, hopefully we don't do it again. That's the goal. All right, we got the clamp off the Supercharger tube. Let's see if we can't. All right, there's the Supercharger tube, guys. So this is the, yep, we're gonna find I think that's a 1 inch, roughly. I think a 1 inch cap will work. Let's see. Oh yeah, 1 inch. So we need a 1 inch vacuum cap. Get rid of that. Okay, so on the crossover pipe, we are here. We're at 10 Newton meters. 10 Newton meters is referenced as 88.5 inch-pounds. My inch-pound torque wrench does half increments, so we're at 88.5. So, sorry, right there's 88.5. And we're gonna go ahead and get that going. It says make sure to replace seals. Obviously this comes with brand new seals, so we don't have to worry about that section there. One, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Get this snuck down behind everything. All right, I accidentally pressed the button in my pocket. Okay, let's try that again. All right, so this thing is gonna go right here, like so. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and grab our bolts and get a couple started. This driver side's easier to get started by hand. All right, right there. All right, those are torqued to the 88.5 inch-pounds. This just clips right on your top coolant hose. Just pushes right on. So we got the temp sensor plugged in here. That clip will go to one of the brackets on the old Supercharger brackets. Again, we'll get a plug for this. We can reach that at any time now, so that's good. And then now all we're gonna do is we'll come back to this video when our other parts get here. Again, we're changing the oil cooler with the gasket. We'll clean out all this. We got the thermostat on. We got the thermostat, the temp sensor plugged in on there, and then also the cam sensor. I believe that's a cam sensor. Might be a VVT solenoid plug, but we got that plug back in. Make sure you do that. And everything else is looking good. All this stuff is just kind of laying randomly in here. So, oh, another thing, guys, real quick. I went ahead and ordered 2 new PCV valves. They're a little expensive. They're about 60 bucks a piece, but I have seen guys sneak them out with the supercharger on, but if you're in this far, and I think you guys saw a little bit of oil blow by inside my supercharger. That's going to be from your PCV. The springs or the diaphragms are likely getting weak, so I'm going to change both of those out while I have the supercharger off because they're super easy to get to. Just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clips all the way around each one. And then we'll change those out while we're in here as well. Just trying to get all the maintenance service stuff done that we can. Again, we got a new oil filter, new drain plug, new oil. We'll get all that changed out as well as we're finishing this thing up. Okay, parts are starting to come in, you guys. We're back on our cell phone for now, but we got the big charge cooler supercharger cover gasket there. We got our specific silicone high temp black that goes for the supercharger snout. And we went ahead and we got our PCV valves have come in. So let's get those replaced right now. So there's going to be 2, 4, 6 clips all around each one. I have found that just a really small flat blade screwdriver and prying sideways is the easiest way to get these clips off, especially these ones down here because they're right against the valve cover. All right, so don't be afraid to break off those tabs. You don't want to damage these tabs, but the little tabs that are part of the cap because you get a whole new cap. You can see here I pretty much just broke all but one off on purpose just to get them out of the way. Here's our diaphragm. And you can see that the spring sits here. Okay, the kit comes with 2 springs, a short one and a tall one. This is a heavier spring and this is a thinner spring. I am going to, until I do some research, I'm going to use the stock size spring. Even though we are running more boost and I think the heavier spring would be better, I'm not sure if it'll mess any other systems up without doing a little bit of research on that. So we're just going to go back with the stock one. Here's what the new cap looks like. Comes all with the brand new diaphragm, brand new cap, and then again the new spring. So, I didn't see any tears in this diaphragm. Usually you can find a tear or small tear, but this one looks okay. Okay, you guys, answered my own question. I got the new one on this side and got this one off. This one, the furthest one back, takes the taller spring. So that's why there's 2 springs in the kit, depending on which one you're replacing. So this one's going to use the taller of the 2. And these are going to be extra springs we're going to keep. As for this diaphragm, it's looking okay. Definitely was dirtier than the other one. Okay, when you're doing this part, what you need to do is you need to make sure you get the spring lined up inside and then make sure your lip is actually inside of that lip there before clicking down. So make sure you don't pinch it. What I found helps, or at least helped with me, is I'll use this old cap as an example, but I put the diaphragm in and then I let this sit on the diaphragm because it kind of helps center it. And then what I did is I put it on and I pushed it down just enough to where I could rotate it until I verified that that lip was inside the other lip before clicking down. And you got to press pretty hard. You want to make sure you hear each one of these click. I mean, it takes some good pressure. So also, our Velocity AP Symposer Delete came in. Kit comes with a plug. If you're going to not use the Symposer, you can run this in line with the factory Symposer if you want to keep it. you just won't put this plug in, and you'll hook the factory line up, and then what you would do is you would end up using the longer 2 bolts if you're using the factory line, the shorter 2 if you're just doing the delete like I am. Then you're going to want to put some Loctite, probably some medium grade at least, on here to seal off the boost. And then they did send a cap and a zip tie, and because this thing, everything's under boost with this thing, you want to make sure you zip tie those caps on so you don't blow them off. And I made a short video on the YouTube channel of me painting this, but I did go ahead and get this all coated with high temp primer and high temp paint, and then I basically hand sanded the paint back off the ribs. Not 100% perfect. There's a few little touch-ups I need to do, but I definitely think it looks better than the all aluminum piece. Now your intake temps in theory will increase slightly because you have extra layers that the heat can't dissipate as easily, but at the same time, because that heat is inside the motor, the coolers are going to work a little more efficiently, and then this will keep about the same degree difference of engine bay temperatures down from the heat coming up through. So in theory, it's going to be kind of a wash. With all the charge cooler upgrades and pump upgrades and everything we're doing, I think we'll be perfectly fine. But I just wanted this to look nice when I pop the hood over at a car show or something. The big Jaguar cover is just ugly. So this is OEM specific, 600 degrees plus. Durco HT Black. This is the factory, according to FCP Euro's website. This is the OEM genuine sealer that they use on the front side of the Supercharger here for the Snout. So we need to get that all cleaned up still. But that'll be the sealant we're going to use for that. I picked this up at FCP Euro. I also got my Supercharger gasket at FCP Euro as well. All right. So we got the surfaces cleaned. Get some gloves on. Went ahead and cleaned out the runners. So we're going to go ahead and lay our genuine silicone. This is that Durco HT Black, 600 plus degrees. I'm sure you could use other silicone as well. I just was ordering parts from FCP Euro to begin with, so I was like, I'll just order this since I know it's the original. So you guys want to verify, if you look here, like on mine, with a straight edge, this is true straight here, but look at that right there. You know it's the right coupler, so it doesn't protrude or it's not too far in. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to put it on this mating surface here. That way it's easier to line the snout up without getting silicone everywhere. And from what I found, I don't have my computer on, so I just Google searched it, but from what I found online, the Supercharger snout bolts are 20 foot-pounds. They're 15 foot-pounds in the star pattern, and then the additional 5 foot-pounds to make it 20. So 2 passes, basically. And these should be 2 true surfaces, so thickness should not be too much on this. Just enough to squeeze. And it's so cold outside. I had my heater on in here, but it's so cold. The silicone is not wanting to stick to the metal more than my warm glove, so I have to kind of go over it a few times. Just make sure you don't get any on the coupler. You don't want a small lump on the coupler. I'm wiping away from the coupler. Kind of even it all out one last time. Okay, you guys. Okay, dowel pins are here. Sure we don't got any lint. Okay, we're ready to go. We got our bolts set right here. What I'm gonna do, I do need an extension for this one inside. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this on the lowest setting there, just enough to run them in. All the bolts are the same except for the black one. The black one is the one that goes in the interior. So the longer bolt there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the snout lined up first. Hopefully you guys can see in there. We want to go on the opposite 3, right? Like that. Okay. Just gently rock it. Should start to kind of go in. And once we're in enough, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get some of these bolts started. They didn't come out with any kind of Loctite or anything, so I'm not going back in with any kind of Loctite. But this will help line us up and verify we stay lined up. And we're just going to go little by little in a star pattern to make sure the coupler is being walked on properly. These bottom ones are a little further away. There you go. Is there any? That's longer. Oh, they're all the same. Okay. All right. Now, let me grab the extension and this guy. Get that one started. Okay, there we go. All right, guys, now I'm going to use this just to walk everything in very slowly, starting at the bottom. Okay, a little bit in, a little bit in, and just 4 bolts positioned properly should be good enough to get this to slowly walk properly. Okay, it's going nicely. I can still see the coupler. Okay, we got a tighter gap on this side, so we're gonna come over here, bring this down, got an even gap again. Little by little, guys. That one's going. One's going. These ones are almost touching, so let's finish this side up. Okay. Good. Good. And cross over to these bottom 2. Okay. We have contact on one side. Let's get this one. Contact. 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 Okay, you can see inside it's got a nice even squish all the way around. We got squish everywhere coming out of the silicone like it's supposed to. Before we tighten it. Hey, look, no more supercharger noise, guys. Remember it would go clunk, 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 clunk. That feels freaking sweet. Sounds great. Awesome. So let's torque this down. I'm gonna take this off camera. So what I'm gonna do, star pattern, I'm gonna start at the bottom. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna do that pattern at 15 foot-pounds and then increase it to 20. Perfect. Everything is torqued down. I can actually hear them compressing, which is awesome. No shaft play at all. No supercharger noise at all. So super happy about that. Now what we're gonna do on this service side is we're going to go ahead and flip this around. Okay, we'll have to get a bucket. Here is our supercharger fill hole and drain plug, kind of 2-in-1. Some guys drain this. They'll take this all the way off, drain it, clean it, spray out the gears. There's 2 gears in here. Yeah, we decided to go ahead and just get in there and inspect the gears and everything like that. We're gonna start with these bottom 3. These do have some Loctite on them. So we'll be making sure we put new sealant on those. Now those are out. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. There you go. Oh yeah, just a really fine, thin layer of sealant. Definitely some stinky oil. The oil doesn't look bad though, guys, so that's good. Let's get this piece of the sealant off of there. Don't want that going in the gears. Yeah, that looks good. Actually, not dirty, it's transparent, normal gear oil color. So, hopefully, I don't know if, I'm gonna get another rag real quick. Let this kind of finish soaking up on a rag. I'll flip this upside down. Just sit down here for now. There you go. Let that soak. Okay. Now, I don't know if these gears come off or if they're pressed on. I think they're pressed on. Oh yeah, that feels good though. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can do this without making a total fool of myself or a total mess. There you go. Okay. There you go. Out of our way for now. Whoa. Set this down. Okay, guys. These teeth are super fine. Everything, like I said, looks good. There's no metal shavings anywhere, guys. So, like I said, technically these are probably pressed on. So, you see these pump oil nicely. Set that down there. That's pretty nice. Stay really well lubricated. It's a really good design there. So we're gonna get the rest of this old oil out. We're gonna clean this surface really good, clean that surface, and I think we're just gonna use a really small thin layer of that 600-degree silicone. This might be an anaerobic sealant possibly on there at one time, but I don't know if I have any anaerobic on me, but silicone should work just fine for sealing this off. So this is that sealant back here. It's not like a coolant leak or anything. It's just the color of the sealant here. So what we're gonna do, wipe all this out. I want to get it all out. Get all off of the gears. Take some brake clean. Clean this really good. I'm gonna spray this all down. All this old crap out of there. Just let it run out. Especially on that lower level there. Okay. Nice thing about brake clean, it evaporates nicely. Oh, took my battery out of this, didn't I? Oop. There you go. Clean off this surface. Take our straight edge. This is a carbide straight edge. You can see there's not much sticking past anything. Just that little bit right there. That freaking supercharger oil smells like butthole. It stinks so bad. Anybody on here remember the old supercharger T-Birds from the early 90s or mid 90s? That supercharger oil stunk so bad. It was worse than this one, but it stunk so bad. It was terrible. I remember working on those things, going, oh man, we need to service the supercharger. Get these little particles out of here. All right. And this layer, like I said, is gonna be so thin. I'm gonna go grab some, I'm gonna use blue Loctite on my threads as a thread sealant. That was about medium duty on the threads here, so I'm gonna do the same thing. And then we'll get this back together. You can see how thin this is. It might be hard to capture on camera, but it's almost transparent through the black. So we got Loctite set on all the bolts ready to go. So everything's looking good in there. Go ahead and stab our dowel pins. Oh, this is upside down, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to assume these are 20 foot-pounds. I will verify them here shortly, but I believe they're going to be exactly what they were. I think. Just go like that. They're the same exact thread pitch as the front snout, so I'm assuming they're probably going to be the same torque spec, but we'll double check. Again, just to verify. I'm pretty sure that's how this went. Let me double check the torque spec real quick. Well, guys, I couldn't find anything on the torque specs, but I feel confident at 20 foot-pounds, being that they're the same thread pitch as the front side, going into the same housing. We're going to go ahead and let this cure. When we broke this loose, we did not break the seal on this backside. You can see it was never broken loose. So had you tapped this off and this one moved, then you're looking at needing to put a sealer on the back spacing. We're gonna let this cure. We'll pull the thing, we'll fill it with the proper amount of supercharger oil, which we have here. And I'll have to look up the spec again, but specifically for Eaton superchargers, our filler tool with our measuring gauge. So we will let this cure for now. And once that's cured, we will go ahead and fill it, and then we'll just inspect it. We'll let it sit and make sure we don't have any leaks coming around any of this housing at all. Want to get this level. It's been about 4 hours. Let that silicone cure. See where we're at. 0.6, that's close enough. Let's see here. That's one bad thing about magnets. Okay. Oh, this dust gets in there. Okay. There you go. You guys can see this supercharger is perfectly level currently. 0.00. So that's the biggest thing you want to do. I took the drain plug out. The rubber seal looks good. It's still pliable. Can push my nail into it. It's still flexible. It's not rock hard. So this stuff is stinky. And I think this just died because it's so cold in here. The lithium batteries hate the cold. Okay, it's annoying. All right, pretty self-explanatory. Everything I found online, I couldn't find it anywhere in the service manual. Again, because they say this is a lifetime fluid, even though we know it's not. Eaton Superchargers says 50,000. Smells exactly the same. This is a special formulated blend here. So what we want to do, it's easier this way. We're going to put this down further and then kink it. Okay, we're going to start with, says max 150 is from what everything I can find online. Here is 50 milliliters. And put that in there. Oh, don't want to lose it. Okay, there we go. There she goes. Hopefully you guys can see that. I did spill just a drop. Okay. Biggest thing is, like I said, is ensuring this thing is level when filling these. Okay. There's one. This thing did not kink very well when I wanted it to, so do the same thing here. I've seen guys only get to about 120. On the V6 model of these, this plate, this backing plate, is just a flat cover. So the V8s actually are deeper this way than the V6 on at least the plate. The V6 is used like a sheet metal plate. Okay, there's 100 milliliters. Now we're going for, which is about perfect right there. It's perfectly the whole bottle, because you got to factor in what's in the straw, what's been in the straw as I'm filling this up. So what this reminds me of, guys, is just filling up like a transfer case or a differential, where likely the fluid should be just right below the thread line. There you go. All right. Got a little bit more we can go in. Let's get our plug back in. It is a 3/16 plug. And 10, 9. I'm going to go to 8 foot-pounds. There you go. That's 8 foot-pounds. Let's spin it around. Sounds good. No leaks. Minus the stuff I spilt a little bit. Here we go. Okay. Let's wipe off any residue. One last thing for today. Ordered this from Parts Geek. It is an actual Jaguar Land Rover factory hose. That's that hard plastic one with that retainer clip that was broken. This is the second time I have ordered the water pump to thermostat housing hose, and I keep getting, it's the exact shape I need. Exact. But, where's the hose? Size-wise, you see, I mean, they're exactly the same shape, but size-wise. And this keeps coming up as Jaguar Land Rover, and online it says thermostat to water pump. Thermostat to water pump. So what I ended up doing, because I'm not going to play this musical shipping back parts, paying for return shipping, all this nonsense, I went down to my local parts place, and we found a C70752 Continental hose. That is, which way did we decide it goes? It goes like that, right there, or vice versa. But no, it is that one. That one right there. Bends off to the left, bends off to the left, same size. So we're just going to cut this hose and use this section that matches for the upper hose. All right, you guys, see here? They look a little different, but they are going to the exact same location, same shape. So, there we go. We got our own little hose section for this. We verified we have no leaks out of the supercharger here. So, this thing's ready to go back together. We're just waiting on parts. Okay, you guys, finally the oil cooler is here. This is a Nyson. Comes with the brand new O-ring. Comes with the stabilizer bracket. Really nice construction. We're gonna get rid of that one. Off camera, we went ahead and threw this back together here. So Pretty self-explanatory. You got your 3 bolts plus your 2 10mm on the side, 1 on each side. We put the Velocity AP Symposer delete. You want to use some kind of either Loctite. I used a liquid Teflon pipe sealer basically for the bolt there. And then make sure you put your cap on if you're not running a boost gauge, and then zip tie that. We will have to cap this guy off as well, because we do have to reuse this. Make sure this is plugged in, but it allows us to get rid of all of this junk here we don't need. So all of our parts are now here, so we can move forward and get everything going here. Okay, we want to start by removing all of our T30s. Disconnect your 4 knock sensors, and then you're just going to go around and take all these bolts out. We are doing an oil change after all of this, so before we ever start the engine. So this harness will come up with the oil cooler. That's why you need to unplug the knock sensors. Okay. We'll have we got the vacuum ready on the other side to clean all this out afterwards. I don't know how much, if any, this will lose. So hopefully not a lot, or not any at all, but all right. Yep, we're losing oil, but that's okay. Okay. Let's set this down. Oh, we're gonna toss these after the fact anyway. Okay, guys. There's that gasket. So, looks like we do need to, some of this can go down. Hey, look, beautiful crankshaft down there. That's awesome. So, I didn't realize that's how they did this cooler. That's actually a really cool design, you guys. So let's get this cleaned up and then off camera. And then I'm probably gonna end up draining the oil. We'll get some rags, soak up everything here, and then get the oil drained out of this thing for now so that level can go down. Okay, we actually ended up just sucking some of this out. There is a screen or a filter in here to be aware of. So, but it's like some kind of valve. We're gonna get our little hose, get down in all these crevices, get all this fluid out so the thing doesn't smoke like a freight train when we first fire it up. Okay, I took my vacuum extractor with the hard plastic line and I got down in here. So there's a lot of old oil just hanging out right here. I mean, it was pretty black. Gets caught on this side of whatever the shaft is. So I'm guessing that's it. Well, guessing that's an oil port or coolant port from the front to the rear here for the cooler. But there was just a bunch of old oil down in these pockets. So I got all that out with the little straw, or at least as much as the straw would pick up. Wipe out the majority of the rest here. And then we'll be ready to put that cooler back on with the brand new one. So the screen or whatever this valve is looks really good. So we'll need to clean that up a bit. Though I don't believe it's in the way of anything. Yeah, it's not in the way of the gasket, so it's kind of in between the ports. So, all right, you guys, that's all cleaned up, and we'll get a little bit of brake clean in here, wipe this out just a little better, and move on. All right, look at that beautiful new gasket. It's got a nice raise. That's what seals up against the bottom of the oil cooler. I'm gonna set this down in here like that, make sure everything Matches. That looks good. All right, got a new gasket there, guys. Get the new oil cooler on. Okay, I got them all just ran down really gently flush. Torque specs is 13 Newton meters. So there's 18 bolts total. We're gonna just do them in a crisscross fashion. There it goes. Should be coming up soon. There it is. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and finish all those now. Well, guys, some not so good news. Happens to the best of us, I guess. So this outer bolt here, you can see it broke off. Looks like I need to buy a new torque wrench. My snap-on torque wrench, now this thing is pretty old. It's been a few years since it's been calibrated, but as I was using it, I didn't realize the Allen, which controls the spring in here, has come loose. If you look at that right there, I can do it by hand. And so it's tightening down, and I was wondering, I'm like, well, this feels like it's not getting tight. And sure enough, it was getting too tight. So I don't know about this yet. You can see how it kind of bent the corner, but it bent it around where it seals. So where it seals is actually, and this is that free floating, nothing's actually here. There's no oil, there's no coolant, there's no nothing. So you see where the gasket started to do its indentations. I'm going to put a small bead of silicone on the gasket, both sides, just to be safe. Really, really thin. So that'll take care of that. We just got to get that broken bolt out. None of the other ones broke, none of the other ones stripped, nothing like that. You can see that they were pretty snug because they were eaten into the aluminum, which even on the factory one, that's what happens. So it's supposed to do that, but definitely too tight on that last bolt. Or I noticed this whole side, as I was going back and forth, as I started to get near the ending ones, I was noticing, I'm like, man, this feels like it's taken forever, but they were clicking, and then that last one just didn't click at all, and I just kept going, and the bolts are so small, you know, so I got my smaller one. This is an inch-pound one, so 13 Newton meters is about 115 inch-pounds, so we'll go back together with it. We'll use this one. This one doesn't have a stupid Allen bolt at the bottom. I'll go to Harbor Freight and buy a freaking new, whatchamacallit, a new 3/8 torque wrench. I have half-inch ones, but obviously not going to use half-inch for this big of a thing. So let me try to pick this out, and then we'll keep on going. Okay, so we got the engine covered, so no metal shaving can go anywhere in the motor. We'll drill this out. If a little bit gets in the coolant passages, we can use our vacuum cleaner for that. And so we just got all the main stuff covered right now. So I did find, I do have these little tiny extractors. So drill a hole, use drill side counterclockwise. So I'm going to try one of these. Maybe I can get it out. I don't know. Haven't used these before, so I'm going to give it a shot. Probably a small one. I think we got it, boys. Okay. Here she comes. Oh. Tap that back in, but we've got it up out of the hole. So let's tap that back in. We'll finish pulling out, and then we'll clean up any metal shavings that might be around the area. Okay. Threads are all good, so that's Good, we don't have to re-tap the hole at all. Okay, we'll chase the first part of the threads like that, just to verify, but you can see the threads didn't get boogered at all. Just a little bit at the top from the tool widening the hole, so that's not a big deal. So we'll tap that, run a chase through there real quick, I should say. Chase that out, clean that up, and go back together with this thing again. Okay, M6 by 10. I'll set that there. You just gotta get past that first little bit of boogered thread, and the rest of the threads are good. As you can see, I'm doing them by hand. So, all right, all the way down. Okay, so what I ended up doing is on this non-crucial bolt here, opposite side of this one that broke, I used one of the old Symposer bolts because it's the exact same head size. It's just a hair shorter, but it's in a non-crucial area, so I'm not too worried about it. So we're gonna go back with this other torque wrench and retorque these now. Okay, all the bolts torqued, so we're good there. I didn't end up adding any silicone. I inspected the gasket, it wasn't crushed yet, so we should be good right there. This thing should be solid. So hopefully we have no leaks. There shouldn't be any reason for leaks since that we were able to get that thread out just fine. So this corner you can see does kind of bend down a little bit, but when it comes to the gasket is way up under, so it should be good. It seals over here and then here and here. Okay, next what we want to do is go ahead and toss this off to the side, pull off our harness, and place it on the new cooler. Alright, got one. Should be 4 clips total, I believe. 2. This thing's making a mess over here. Okay. 2, 3. 3. And number 4. Oh, no, there's 5. 4 and 5. Oh, come on. Don't be shy. Come on, baby. There it goes. All right. So, put this bad boy on. Same way it came off, which is 1 in the rear. Right there, boom. 1 right here, boom. 1 knock sensor. Alright, this one needs to go in. There it goes. Oh. This is being a pain in the butt. Let's get that knock sensor in first. There we go. Three clips in so far, 2 sensors, 3 sensors, 4 clips, 4 sensors, and clip number 5. All right. Just like that, guys. That's gonna go like that. One oil cooler after a little bit of trouble. We can finally get this water pump going. So, doesn't require any silicone with these metal gaskets, but I just like to err on the side of caution just a little bit because these did have a little bend in them when they got shipped. So, a little bit of silicone doesn't hurt just to verify they get a good crisp seal. You should go like that, and then put a little drop of silicone on the back side as well. Just a thin coat. Okay, it comes with new bolts with the water pump, so we'll be using those. We know this goes, give it a little bit of lubrication. All right, we know this is gonna go in like so. Okay. Almost forgot, we gotta put this piece back in on the new pump, or on the new cooler. Goes in and then it rotates and locks. Right there. And then it needs to rotate until it's right there. There you go. Okay. That one's in. Everything's looking good on the water pump side. All right. Water pump side looks good as well. I'll walk it up. There it goes. It's in. Try to get these started. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, there we go. Okay, I torqued those to 13 Newton meters, just like the oil cooler, because it's the same exact size bolt, the same exact size, or same exact type of gasket. So that water pump is in, that aluminum adapter is in. So now we get to finally put in the problem child. I'm just going little by little, guys. Back and forth between one side and the other. Make sure the O-rings are going down nice and flush, not getting pinched. You should eventually just kind of feel it just start to drop. All right, still fighting this, guys. So, let's make sure. It's going in. All right. 1, 2. Yeah, you can see it's wanting to pinch the O-ring. All right. It's just not wanting to go down flush. It starts to, but this gasket right here seems like it got pinched in half. There's a little line. I don't know if you guys can even see that. So, sorry, my point of view camera is charging. Can't tell if that's the seam, because it kind of looks like it goes across the whole thing where they built this O-ring, or if it's the O-ring itself. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the O-ring itself. Yep, sure enough, I can get my nail under it. Well, look at that, guys, see? Luckily, I have O-rings. I just don't have any of these brown ones, but let me go see what O-ring I have to replace this, because that's no good at all. Here we are, here we are. Okay, so we went down to Harbor Freight, picked up the new Icon swivel head 3/8 to replace our snap-on swivel head 3/8. So definitely size difference there, but they both do 75 foot-pounds. So they do offer this exact same one with a solid head that'll do up to 200 foot-pounds, but I like the swivel because we already have a 1/2-inch wrench for anything above 75 anyway, so I like having the swivel. Comes with a nice case, which is awesome. So again, you can see, I mean, it's, look at that. That's what was happening. That's why I broke that bolt. So now we don't got to worry about that anymore. So I did verify the water pump according to Mitchell. My Mitchell software is supposed to be the same torque spec as the oil cooler. So we got that torqued down to the right spec. Same thing here. What I ended up doing, because those O-rings, if you recall, just a couple clips ago, I guess, this is the next day, but those O-ring, that one O-ring got caught and split. I found an O-ring, but I also ended up doing is putting, it'll make for more cleanup later if I ever have to pull it back out, but I put a small ring of silicone around the tube ends, which the silicone acted like a lubricant as well, and that thing sat right in as soon as I had that silicone on there. It was just getting caught up. I think I tried putting coolant on there just to get them wet to go in, because I didn't want to put like any kind of grease or anything, but ended up silicone working a lot better. Put a little silicone around those O-rings, and that silicone works as a lubricant, and it slid right in, and then I was able to torque both of those bolts there. So now what we are working on is going to be getting, which is a little bit of a pain, we gotta get some things situated, probably jack the car up a little bit to help get from underneath, but we're gonna get this inner belt on the water pump and tensioner back in. We'll get all that belt routed and done, and then from there we can start installing the supercharger, and then that'll probably be it for this video, because we've gotten the pipe changed. This is the main pipe. We got this changed, a couple other things changed, thermostat, stuff like that. So this video is mostly about getting those parts changed with the proper torque specs. Hopefully you guys don't run into a bad torque wrench like I did. That was terrible, but let me get this thing up, and then I will get going on that serpentine belt, the inner belt, not the supercharger belt. So we'll get the factory tensioner back in on that, and then we got to get our hoses. Once that's done, we got to get the hose from here to here on. We'll see if that one we made works. I'm not sure looking at the angle. I know they look close when I set them up to each other, but it may still be too tight of a bend, and I may just end up having to reuse the factory one. Luckily, it's exterior. If it ever goes bad, we can replace it without having to pull the supercharger off or anything. So worst case, we'll reuse the original one because I still have it. But again, this car has 48,000 miles on it. We're reusing the other radiator hoses anyway. So maybe what we'll do in the future is just replace all the hoses that are external eventually. But all right, so we've got, let's look up a belt diagram. There you go. Okay, we need to see what the inner belt does. Looks like, there we go. No, that's the old motor. Okay. Come on. This is definitely that one. Okay. Okay, so it looks like alternator to an idler pulley and a backside of a pulley behind the main supercharger tensioner bracket. So we're gonna try to get that all wiggled in there, and then we want to get it routed on this side first, and then we'll get the tensioner in and get all that routed. So let me look at that, take a photographic memory of it real quick, and okay. Let's see what we got so far. I think, it's cold. It's about 25 degrees outside right now, so the concrete is ice cold. Okay, so there is our belt. And that is currently going where it needs to go, around the crank. But that needs to go that way. Okay, here we go. That needs to come way up here, like so. That's why. All right. Around the crank and over to that guy over here. And then this stuff on this back side needs to go, okay, down around the pulley, around that pulley, around that pulley. And there should be one right here, smooth, but that top piece needs to go down. Hopefully the camera's not dirty. Oh, man, it's got dirt in my eye. Okay. It might be easier from the other side, actually, believe it or not. Okay, so this one needs to come down through everything and underneath this idler that's down in here. Where's this idler? On the back side there. Okay. There it is. I feel it. Okay, now that's definitely it. It's just a matter of getting it on there. Oh, behind that idler. That's kind of a weird. Almost got to do this by feel, because okay, goes that way for sure. But all right, there's the idler. There it goes. Okay, water pump. I feel it wanting to go behind the idler, or around the idler, but on the back side of that bracket, but it's wedging between both pieces of the belt. Where it goes over the crank and where the idler sits, the belt is wedging right there, so it's definitely gonna take some love. Oh, here we go, guys, here we go. Let's see here. Where's this idler? One more time right there. Okay, I feel it. Let's push. Can we pull it through? No, maybe. I feel like that should be on the crank. Oh, well, maybe it's that one that's already going over. Hold on. Maybe that's not it. Maybe that's it. That's already going backwards. Maybe that's the idler. There we go, guys. I think I had it. Man, it's just so hard to see down there. Put that down like that. Maybe I can get that in there a little better. All right. All right, guys, I'm gonna try to get this belt, not struggle the whole 25 minutes it's gonna take me on camera. Okay, so I've pretty much got it figured out. I gotta bring this belt back up and over, right through here and down to this pulley, down to the power steering, but I got the tensioner set in here with the belt looped around the smooth side of the belt, smooth side of the pulley. We got to Got this in its locked keyways. We just need to tighten that down. I believe the torque spec was 43 foot-pounds on these. I think I snapped a photo of it. I'm not sure. Hold on. Right here, a 47 Newton meter, sorry. Right there, bam. So both, I snapped a photo, both tensioners, supercharger and or this one are 47 Newton meters for torque. So one thing I realized, this actually has Newton meters on the back side. It's a little bit weird to read because the Newton meters is down here and it's done in points. So right now I'm at 44.1 plus 2.7, which gives us 46.8. I mean, that's basically 47, but I couldn't get 47 if I tried because it skips. So converting Newton meters into foot-pounds, I should be roughly at 34.68, which if you come to the foot-pound side, I am at 34.5. So that's where we're going to set it. That's close enough. I feel confident with that. We're talking a fraction of a foot-pound. So, but yeah, so you can read this on both ways. It just took me a second to figure out how to read that because the old Snap-on one did not have, it had a scale up here for roughly what it converts to, and then you just set the foot-pounds, but this one you can actually read, which is kind of nice. Oh, it's cold in here. I have to turn this heater on again. See, my breath. Okay, so we got it routed. So now it's just got to get it over this last idler, which is, oh, this has got to go apparently the opposite way. Come on. There we go. You pull towards me to get it. This idler right here is what we're going for. Right behind the thermostat. Okay. There it goes. Okay. Oh, we're a little past it actually. Okay, we got idler. Let's get this out of the way so we can double check our work. We got this torqued to the 47. We got it torqued. Oh, we are, if you look, we are falling off the tensioner there, so let's get that fixed. We are over the AC compressor. We are on the pulley down there. We'll have to get underneath to check the rest, but let's fix that before we fix anything else. Want to make sure we come on, go in. There you go. Put my thumb down there. There we go. I'm gonna slide that back that way. Okay, okay. The belt is on the idler. Now we've got to check the other idler and from underneath. Let's double check this. Okay, I'm on the crank pulley, at least on part of it. Maybe a little too far with the belt this way now, but hopefully it'll straighten itself out. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Crank. We have the alternator pulley. Okay, we are on the alternator pulley. We are definitely on, I don't know if you guys can see that idler where the belt's going up, hopefully. Looking good there. The bottom of the crank looks good. The AC compressor looks good. All that looks good. Now note, we are slightly off this pulley. We're actually, okay. The belt is sitting slightly over. It's probably why it's also sitting slightly over on our tensioner. And of course, it's the one that we can't physically see, but we can feel. I did not realize I didn't have my camera on. Okay, so this one, if you guys can see it, this idler is the one that I'm having issues with. It's like sitting on the back edge of it, I think, because it looks like it kind of sits in a recess. You know, here's the flat edge of the pulley, and it's got a little lip and a little lip, and the belt's supposed to ride this way, but it looks like it's riding on the edge. But no matter what I do, I can't seem to get it to straighten out. And then if I correct it down there, then the tensioner is off. So I got to figure out what the heck's going on with this section that goes from here around over, keeps getting off somehow. So that's what I'm fighting right now. All right, I was able to get it just by hand, guys. What I did is I grabbed the bottom of the belt and I put my thumb against the water pump and I just lifted and squeezed the belt this way, and I heard it pop down that little bevel that I was talking about. Now tension feels good, it's not too tight. So we are officially done with that belt. That's the hard belt. So woo. So now we can move on to, I think we can go ahead and put the radiator hose back in. I know that the big clamp goes up top, the little clamp goes on the bottom. Okay, yeah, I tried that hose. The hose that I bought, the one earlier in the video that I give you the part number off of, both ends can be used. I mean, it's freaking close. I can get this one on really good. Problem is I can't get this angle just right. So I'm not gonna bother with it anymore. I'm gonna just reuse this one for now and replace this one when I actually find a kit that has the right one, instead of them sending me a tiny version of this. So, so it looks like it goes this way. So let's put this right about there. Okay. Okay. Well, let's get her on so we know she fits perfect. So this is the original. All right, and then you twist it, and then you get that down in there like so. That like so, that like so. All right. Maybe if we put a little lubrication on this hose on the exterior of it to help slide it past. Not that I want to spray lube everywhere, but something's got to give. Just kind of use some WD-40 on this hose to help bring it around. There it goes. Oh, it's so close. WD-40 definitely helped. All right, come on, baby. Okay, there it goes. All right, we finally got it. Look at that, bam. Now the fun part is trying to get it to snap loose. There you go, bam. It is on, it is open, it is clamped. Now, just so that hose doesn't swell up or do something weird with the WD-40 on it, I am going to take some brake clean on a rag and wipe that off. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we should have a hose right here. This is the hose that runs under the supercharger to the from the throttle body to the crossover pipe. And that's what it looks like there. So we should be able to take the clips off of this old one. There you go. And one, where was this one at? Let's see here. That one goes there. This goes up to the throttle body, and then through the back. There you go. Just like that, guys. That goes to the throttle body there. Boom. And this will go to the back to the crossover pipe. It's Trent, y'all. So, all right, guys, we got that hose on. We also got the tape removed. We did leave all the rags down inside the intake runners. That way we don't get anything falling in there still. We'll pull these out after we get the supercharger set down. We will need to plug this sensor in and be mindful of these two sensors and plug them in as well. Now that I have Trent here to help, I don't think I'm going to use the cherry picker. I think we're just going to set this thing down. Now they do recommend making some studs for the bolts. I did go ahead and put the Symposer back on, the solenoid from the Symposer, and I zip tied a vacuum cap on this side. So this is all ready to go. So we don't have to worry about getting to these bolts back there. We just need to be mindful of the electrical plugs. And finally, there's one other thing. I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Let me get the gaskets. And all right. All right, you guys, we took a couple spare bolts out of our truck and we cut the tops off. We made a slit for a flat screwdriver. This is going to be our dowels to hold the gaskets in place while we set the supercharger down, and then you can just unscrew them with a flat blade screwdriver. We don't need them to go down very far. They're literally just an alignment tool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this supercharger and we are going to lift it up and over, and we'll start on your side here if you want to grab that side. Just watch yourself, watch your elbows. Yep. It's a little crowded in here. All right, so we're gonna just set it right down on here. We'll get it turned the right direction. Okay. All right, now what I'm going to attempt to do is crawl up onto this frame here. All right.
Probably lift it a bit to get to you.
Yeah, and then I got this side.
Okay.
So let's come on down.
Yep.
All right, we are right there on that dowel.
That one's in.
Okay, we gotta watch this stuff back here.
All plugs clear.
This needs to stay up. This actually goes around all that. So that little sensor wire needs to come.
This one right here?
Yeah, it needs to kind of come out. And that hose needs to come through over here. There we go. Okay, there we go. Because that plugs into that, and that other one plugs in down there. Okay, I think we're good to come on. Got enough slack? Yep. Come on down. Come on down, come on down. Okay, we are in and in. Okay, let me make sure I can get to this. Right here.
We are not down in the back right.
Okay. I'm not flush yet either. I'm on the stud, but I'm not down in it yet.
I'm trying to see what's hanging it up.
And this little guy needs to come backwards like this. Get it plugged in. Can I get underneath that? No. This thing's kind of a pain. All right.
Try to lift this wiring harness so you can move that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Come on, baby. Right? This one is just not wanting to line up, but you know what? I got enough slack to get it out of the way. Let's think you're good there. It's not pinching, so if you just hold it kind of in the center, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of just go, make sure nothing's pinched.
It's
probably just on those dowels.
No, like this is straight through.
Okay. It's what I'm talking about, the big dowels that are in the center. They're probably not, because they're rusty.
Yeah.
They're probably just sticking. So let's do this. Grab your bolts.
Oh yeah.
And let's get these.
Bring them down on the ends.
Yeah. 2 and 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Where's that one? Oh, that one's a long one. 1, 2, 3, 4, I should say. There should be 4. We can back those studs out that we made. There we go. Back those out. Take that one out. Put that one in. Like that. Okay, that one's lining up. That one's lining up. That one's lining up. And then I'm gonna pull this one out. Okay, unscrew that one. And then flip it. And then there's also a reason. Okay. All right. 2, 3, 4. Here you go. You want to back the one at a time, and then there's a magnet on the back side of that for the whatchamacallit.
I got a shaving.
Once you get it unscrewed, then it should pull it out.
There's a metal shaving.
Oh, yeah. I'll hit these with a vacuum before I pull those rags out. See the rags in there?
Yeah.
So that way
Doesn't go down the runners.
Yeah.
There we go. Now she's starting to come out.
Almost got the sensor lined up finally. Almost.
Why are you getting hung up on the gasket? I don't know how that's possible.
Need to rock it a little bit.
There it goes.
Yeah. I had to kind of rock mine to get it out too. So. Oh, come on. Sensor wires just a pain. It's like halfway there, but it won't click in. Okay. All right.
Just trying to make sure it's going in hand tight first before I
Yeah, I got everything just kind of twisted, just one or two.
just have to lift the front end up.
Okay.
Just want to make sure it doesn't cross.
Right.
That's not one I want to cross thread.
No. Okay, guys, we are.
It's coming out. That's nice.
I should have one more bolt. Yep. Okay. Probably needs to go that way a little bit. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing's pinched. Nothing's pinched. Nothing's pinching that corner, right? Yeah, we're good.
No, I think everything's
Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put this on low.
just run them down.
Just go ahead and get that one if you can.
Yep.
Just one, just till you start to see it move. There you go, perfect. And then we'll come back over here. Same thing there. And these are going to be torqued, you guys, to 18 foot-pounds once we get them in.
You want me to do star?
Oh yeah, go ahead, yeah. Nice, perfect, okay. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the middle again. Okay. All right. We'll get the new torque wrench. We'll set it to 18 foot-pounds. We are at 25, 20, 19, 18. Okay. So now, oh yeah, she's getting comfy now. Go ahead and run yours down and get yours torqued first, since it moved quite a bit. So, yeah, kind of finally sat down in those dowels. Nice. Nice, yeah, it's closing up really nice. Sweet. And then what I'm gonna actually do, there's 18. All right, so I'm gonna do this one. Then we'll run all these back in so we don't have to sit there and twist forever. I'm gonna run that in just until it touches. And, okay. Now, so we did that one, so we're gonna do this one here.
Forward centers.
Yeah. There we go. Perfect. Come across this way. Perfect. All right, this one. Okay.
Yep, there it is.
Then what I'm going to do is perfect. All right, I'm just going to run through all of them and just verify. Run through all yours. Perfect. Let's take the tension off the torque wrench. And there you go, guys. So that's it for this episode. The final episode will be just putting the new Velocity AP tensioner on, getting the top cover on of the charge cooler, getting everything plugged back in, getting the coolant bled, getting the oil change done. So for now, learning, building, and sharing the ride. This is JP Street and Performance. Until next time.